grinding in my 30s is a lot more different than I thought it will be comparing to my 20s. Back in the 20s, the naiveness is still there. I can work a lot more easier. I just follow the flow, follow the process, and without asking a lot of returns. But doing that in 30s is just slightly different mindset. Everything you put in, every effort you do, you just felt like, what is the return in it for me? What in it for me? And this kind of affecting the decision I make, and sometimes I struggled to do some of the work, procrastinate, because I'm thinking, okay, if I put in this effort, will I get the significant return that I ever hope for? And this is bad. So in this video, I would like to share with you my experience so far grinding at 30s and what I've learned so far. What is the reason drive me doing all of this? And ultimately, is that because of money? Is that because of fame? Or is it just self-fulfillment that I would like to improve myself? So let's get started. The first one, let's understanding what is grind defined. I think the grind is always about you have a 9-to-5 job, you would like something else, and you got into your side hustles and thinking going through the side hustles will eventually grow into something bigger than your 9-to-5 job. And that is where it's so hard at 30s, because you know that you're already in 30s and all the time, amount, effort you put in will need to have a return, else you waste your time and then you lack of time because you're already in 30s. But I tell you, that's what struggled to me the most when I started my YouTube channel. I've been questioning about a lot of things like, is it too late to get into YouTube? Will anyone laugh at me if I do YouTube at age 30s? And that took me 2 years to get off from that. And I ended up having a different mindset, is that I'm doing this video just to improve myself and hope to get to know more people around it. And so far it's okay. You know, I get a few thousand views and a few comments, that encouraging comments about the work, and that's all right. And generally the grind defined is that knows what's in it coming forward for you, and if you're ready for it, just go for that grind. And the next thing is, what do I learn out of that grind as well? I think at age 30s, you're kind of used to some routine already. The way how you work is significantly difficult to change. The way how I speak as well in front of cameras, and then have to learn the way how I present myself. These are all good things in general, which I can improve myself. But if you combine the lesson learned and the grind defined so far, is that every skills you learn at 30s is a lot more harder than you would learn in 20s. I'm not sure if I passed that message a lot more clearer. Is that I recently picked up swimming as well. I ended up took probably 2 months, 3 months before I learned how to float, and skiing as well. It takes me a lot more time to learn, to get used to it. And that's what I'm trying to say, is that if you know what's the grind is coming, you also know that you are in your 30s already. New things learning at 30s, it's strangely, surprising enough for me at least, it's a bit difficult to learn that new things. And however, all the lesson learned so far, it's a good thing, and it pretty much allowed me to know that I'm still able to learn a little bit slower, but that's still something learned so far. And then the next bit is the power of perseverance. Perseverance is, I think, something exclusively probably for age 30, but it's quite limited. It's a bit like burnout and the willpower as well. So perseverance, what I have so far is that since January, I've been doing 2 videos a week on YouTube, despite knowing that it's a bad video. I'm still doing it. I'm doing my side hustles. It's kind of gaining me to the £3,000 a month extra. And then I'm also doing the digital SaaS products, which I'm trying to launch as soon as possible, which is about hosting Minecraft and things like that. And then lastly, I have a 9-to-5 job, which I have the duty to do every Monday to Friday. And that's a lot of things. There's a lot of things on plate. And perseverance is pretty much the thing that gets us through it. But there's a limit to it. It will run out, and once it runs out, I'll feel flat. And this is where I think I would like to share about it. When we were in 20s, it felt like we got unlimited energy to keep going. But at this point in time in 30s, it felt like the energy just runs out by probably 3 o'clock every day or 2 o'clock every day, depending how we use it. And then we also have to find a way to recharge it in the right rate as well. Else tomorrow morning you come back, you feel flat, and then nothing will be done, and then you ended up procrastinating. This is something that I've learned so far, and I usually recharge myself by reading books. Strangely enough, it's not about scrolling TikTok and watching funny videos on the YouTube. It's just about reading books. I felt calm 2 to 3 hours a day, probably 1 hour's average, and then I felt like I was able to recharge a lot quicker than anything else. And then the next bit is the importance of balance. Obviously, is that everyone talks about lifestyle balance or work-life balance. You work hard, you also play hard as well. But at my grinding in 30s, there is no kind of such things. I'm quite bad at doing it as well, because every day I wake up 6 o'clock, almost every day. I go to the gym, and then I start my work at 7:30, which is my side hustles. And then 9 to 5, I go my 9 to 5 jobs. And then 5 to 8 or 9, I do my digital products or anything that comes, you know, whatever priority. And this is quite a bad example here, because with the rate I'm doing right now, I would eventually burn out. And when I burn out, I give up, abandon ideas, and all the time spent on it is lost. Therefore, I have activities that recharge my perseverance, activities that to make it balanced. That is, strangely enough, is the making YouTube videos. And it's very bad videos, right? The way I'm doing right now, talking to videos, talking to the cameras. But strangely enough, it's meditation skills for me to recharge my willpower, my perseverance, so that I can continue work even harder the next days. And then lastly, we'll be embracing the grind. And no one likes to work hard, right? That's period. But if you're able to embrace it, and then you're able to see the things behind of it. For example, my intrinsic value comes from I want to improve myself. I want to live a fulfilling life rather than just a 9 to 5 job. Therefore, I work this amount of time to justify that. But obviously, I do want to have a good return, but I somehow put that return at the back of the head. But before that, I give it out. I have the law of giving first by pushing the effort in, and then I will see how it goes. So one of the best example again is YouTube. Doing it so far, I think I'm extremely lucky to get about 400 subscribers so far and have a few people comment my videos, because thanks to you guys. And whether it grows or not, I'm not sure, but I do recognize that probably the thing I'm sharing doesn't have a lot more audience, but things will eventually comes, and I'll continue doing it. This is where embracing the grind, but you cannot think like it's a grind. You still have to think like it's a happiness, fulfillment that comes inside from you. Then it isn't too bad after all. So that's the conclusion of the whole video. I just want to share my kind of experience about grinding in 30s, how difficult it is, how different it is, and most importantly, it is quite awful to grind to it. But 30s is the best moment to do this, I would say, because we have the best skills in the time zone, because you would have gained a good amount, ample of skill from the 20s, and you have a good mental readiness as well, because you're older, you're wiser. With that combinations merged together, I think all of 30s guys like myself, or girls, female or whatever, should be in the right position in timing to success. And my success isn't about become millionaire, though I do want to become millionaire, but my metrics of measurement is that if I'm able to improve myself, probably 1%, 2%, like public speaking, talking to cameras, be fluent in English, you know, be assertive of what I actually want to deliver, I think it's a good win for me. So yeah, so that's in my end of videos. If you part of the journey or part of the 30s gangs that also grinding at the same time, so leave your comments down below. Happy to reply, happy to share my experience in furthers. And if you like my videos, if you subscribe to me, and yeah, I will see you in my next video. Peace.